She's a multi-award winner at Dancing with Our Stars. Lisa Pritzl from Empowerment Dance. Welcome to the DWOS Diaries.
Thank you, Sean. I'm excited to be here today.
Great to have you and get to hear you tell your story. So I recall when I first met you, and you took part in the 2015 event, but take me back. When is the first time you ever remember hearing about Dancing with Our Stars?
Well, I think friends of ours had won tickets to an event, and I think it was the year prior to me participating. So maybe 2014, I think it was. And she won the tickets, and she thought, I think Lisa would really enjoy going to this event. And we went there primarily to cheer on Mary Gronert because we know her daughter and we're friends, with the family. So we're like, yeah, this would be fun. Let's go. We'll go check it out. We'll see what it's all about. And then look what happened. That's it. I was like hooked. It was incredible. So yeah, the event was spectacular, and then it really started to kind of energize oh, wow, maybe I could dance again someday. Gosh, I wonder if they'll ask. I wonder if they'll ask me. And then I went silent. I just kind of like hibernated and, waited to see what was going to happen from there. So yeah.
I remember meeting you. It was at the Mark, one of the kickoff parties. I think it was the 2014 season kickoff party.
Yep.
And I think Rhonda Kinchelow actually might have introduced you to me. And you kind of planted that seed at that point. And then at some point, yeah, we connected during the 2015 recruitment season, and you were hooked. You were in.
Yeah. I mean, how can you say no? Yeah, it just feeds every passion that I have. So it was a natural fit. Yeah.
And talk a little bit about your dance background and when you started dancing and how that has been was a part of your life prior to Dancing with Our Stars.
Sure. So I think I was about 3 years old. My mom put me in dance class, and I had the shiny little tap shoes on with the bows, and that was it. That was my life all the way up through my grade school years. I think by the age I was 14 or so, I had danced semi-professionally for a ballet company in town. And then that carried me through high school, and then I went off to college and continued to dance in college. And then after that, that's kind of where things just changed for my life. I got married and I had children, so the next chapter then began. So that's quite a bit of dance background up to that point.
So you agreed to do Dancing with Our Stars, and certainly dancing is part of that, and we'll get to that in a moment. But the fundraising is the huge piece.
Mm-hmm.
And you put together, in my opinion, one of the most organized fundraising campaigns of all my years of producing the event. Tell me about the whole concept behind putting on the Pritz and the work that you put into that whole campaign.
Yeah, so it was certainly a new adventure, and I knew it was going to be an element of this whole campaign that was going to be a brand new experience for me. I had never undertook that kind of fundraising effort before. So at the time I was working at Profit Marketing, and of course there's a lot of creative juices in that company. So we came up with instead of putting on the Ritz, putting on the Pritz, right? Last name Pritzl, putting on the Pritz. So we had a ton of fun. We did this little putting on the Pritz montage. I roped in people from the office. We put a little video together, and that's kind of what kicked it off. Yeah, it was a blast. So much fun.
And I know you did several fundraising events, and your first one was White, Red, and Fed. Tell me what you remember about that event.
That was a wine tasting and food tasting event. So we had rented out the old schoolhouse in Far East De Pere. So the venue was phenomenal. It was great. We had brought in some caterers to cater some wonderful food, and yeah, we had partnerships with various wine companies. We had the wine tasting event. So yeah, it was a fun. That's a picture of my son and I, my youngest son Garrett Pritzl. So yeah, it was a great event. That was fun.
And what was this all about? So was there some sort of a costume change or something that happened at that event?
It's possible that there was. So my partner for the event was Michael Whitty. So we had decided that, to kind of spice up, this evening a little bit, why don't we put together like a little disco routine? So I came out in that little disco outfit and put on the disco wig, and yeah, I think it was fun. It was great because it was very intimate setting. So we were literally smashed between, like 100 or 200 people, and we carved our way through, and we just had a blast. Yeah, that was good. That was a good time.
You also did a couple of fitness events,
Hmm.
and I know I've got photos from one of those, which would be the boot camp. So tell me a little bit about that, and just kind of what was your motivation behind doing those two fitness-based fundraisers?
Yeah, so the boot camp. Oh yeah, boot camp for a cause. So I was a member at a local gym here at the time, and I thought, what better way to tap into various, really various people that I know, various groups, various organizations, and when I sat down and I planned out the event, I kind of mapped it out that way. Okay, I've got my gym group, and I've got my friends who I love wine, and I've got all these different groups. That's really how all the various fundraising events came to be, because I knew that those groups in my regular life didn't overlap. So I thought, I'm gonna bring out something that can really cater to the people that I connect with, and do events that I know that they're going to enjoy, that I know they're going to show up to because it's already part of their life. So yeah, that's me and Anne right there. Yeah, that's the lady who trumped me for winning that year, but it was phenomenal. Just a lovely, lovely lady. So yeah, that's a little bit us getting our workout on at that event. That was good. That was fun.
And then your last event was a Super Bowl party that was out at the woods. So tell us a little bit about that Super Bowl event.
Yeah, so we thought, well, why not cap this whole thing off with, yeah, the Super Bowl event, and that was a blast. We had this chair that we had raffled off. We had a lot of Super Bowl type games, of course. There's always the raffle tickets, and yeah, it was a really really fun event. Yep, everybody brought their Packer gear. We just had a blast. Again, another group in my life that are fanatics and when it comes to sports and things like that. So we're like, well, let's give them a party. So I really had no excuse for any of my friends to not come to at least one, because I think I hit them all in their various interests. So yeah, the big screen TV. So yeah, we had a great time. That was good.
And I think the way that the chair giveaway went was every time the score changed or something. It was like, isn't that how that game worked? Like a hot potato type thing. So score changes. All right, who's got this number or whatever? Who has the next number? You move in, and then you move out.
I think so. You're right. So I think it came down to the very tail end of the game, and Nick Alt ended up winning it, like at the basically like almost like the game winning play. He jumped into the chair and won it. Yeah, yeah.
It was, yeah, that was the Patriots Seahawks Super Bowl that ended with Seattle throwing an interception on the goal line, which won it for Nick. Had the Seahawks scored, Nick would have been out of luck, but
Yep. He has his lucky day.
he was the big winner. So we talked about the dancing. What do you recall about choosing the styles and songs that you would perform?
So with my dance background, I had never had any kind of dance experience when it came to ballroom dancing. So I really didn't know the first thing about it. What types of styles, what are the difference between all the different styles. So in order to pick out my two dances and my two songs for that year, I really sat down with Michael and Mina both, and we had some conversations. We pulled up music, and I think what really drove the style was the music. We listened to a bunch of different selections, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like really fun. That's more high, upbeat, energetic. And the other song I actually ended up finding, that was the song Letters from War. So I had two very contrasting type numbers that year. One, again, very high energy, get the crowd pumping. The other one was really in tribute to my youngest son, Garrett, who was going to be leaving for the Marines in a few months. So Letters from War, that really was probably a dance that I'll never, ever, ever forget. Very, very special moment for me on that stage to be able to attribute that to him. And now we are 4 years later, and he's done with Marines, and just like that, yeah, yeah. So that's how we went about that approach.
we certainly salute him and thank him for his service.
Thank you.
And how did you feel going into the day of the event? Are you nervous? Are you excited? A little bit of both? Walk me through Pritz at DWOS 2015.
Yeah, it was all of those emotions combined. It was, it brought back all those feelings that I remember having growing up on the stage. And as much as you practice and as much as you rehearse and as much as you think you're prepared, there's always the butterflies. There's always the, oh my God, my mouth is dry. My mouth is turning to cotton right now. How am I going to get through this, with a smile and nothing happen, no saliva in the mouth, right? So all those jitters come back, but I think that is what makes it so exciting, is that rage of adrenaline, that rush, because you know that when you get out on that dance floor, all eyes are on you, man, and you mess up, you got to either cover it up or you just got to go with the flow, right? I know there's wardrobe malfunctions and there's so much that you can't control. But that, it was such a high. It was such a high. And that is what really triggered the whole next phase of my life, was to be able to get back on that stage. And it's not even so much about having me go out there and perform in front of people. It's the connection that I get to have through dance with people when I'm dancing. So it gives them a sense of excitement. It gives them a sense of storytelling. It's those emotions that I think are so important when it comes to the element of dance and bringing it to life. So that's really that up in the air with my arms open like that. Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. It was very freeing. It was awesome.
Those first two pictures were the Viennese waltz, right? Was that
Correct.
the style? And then this was it a samba or a salsa or?
Yes, it was a samba. It was a samba. Yep.
And
Yeah. So
go
the
ahead.
outfit. Let's talk about the lack of the outfit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So can I just preface this with saying they choose the outfits? We don't choose the outfits. They choose the outfits. So hey, it was a motivation to work in a few more salads during the day. That's for sure. Yeah. It was great. Yeah, it was good. Man, oh man. Yeah, I look back and go, wow, what was I thinking? I was a
In,
mother.
in this time of talking about essential and non-essential, I describe this as you were wearing a costume that covered the bare essentials.
Yes, okay, we can move on. Next slide, please. Thank you, Sean. Thanks.
So I talked about at the start, multi-award winner, and you darn near swept them for this one. I know you were People's Choice champ for the Viennese Waltz, and you were Judge's Choice champ for the overall evening. And then you talked about Ann before, Ann winning the mirror ball for raising about 60,000, and you came in just a few thousand shy of her, so you were second place in fundraising. So the night is over, and you've got all this hardware, and you've got your family there. How are you feeling in this moment?
Oh, it is right up there with all the highlights of my life. Getting married, having my two boys, having this fabulous family. I mean, it was one of those, I never ever ever want this evening to end. And it was also it was very bittersweet for me, because in my head I was under the impression that this may be it. I may never hit the dance floor again. So so that was it was an evening that I struggled with from that respect. But I had so many friends and colleagues and family there to support the evening. It was one of the best nights of my life. It was fantastic.
So 2015 event is over, and as you mentioned, dance is kind of out of your life. And then we start putting together the 2018 finale event. And I actually started recruitment for that 2 years prior. So I started doing that in February of 2016, just because I felt people who had already participated needed that time. They needed up to a year to figure out, do I want to do this again or not? And you certainly were one of the people on my recruitment list. And let's talk about that story. So I reach out to you, and your response at that point, the first time.
I'm not so sure. I'm not, because I just knew it was a massive time commitment, and My life had changed, where my role at the office had changed, and I just didn't know from a time commitment standpoint if I could do it again. So that's kind of where we started our conversation. Yeah, and I said, I think what I did is I think let me think about it, and then I came back and I'm like, nah, I just don't think I can commit, right? So I was just kind of in that space of, I just don't think so. Mm-mm. It would have been too much.
I'm not one to take no for an answer. And
Oh,
so I kept working on you, and that no continued. And I certainly remember the story very well. I don't know how well you remember it, but we were leading into the week of Dancing with Our Stars 2017 when we would publicly announce that 2018 would be the finale. Again, behind the scenes, I'm recruiting for it and working on it, but we hadn't made that official in the public's eye. And I had put together a video that we were going to play the night of 2017 explaining 2018 would be the finale. And then I had pictures of the previous participants who were going to be returning. And I think it was probably that Tuesday of that week, I want to say. So I put the video together, and it gave me chills and tears and all the feels, as the kids say. And I remember sending that video to you, and I said, it's not too late to include you. So this video comes through to you on Facebook Messenger. What do you think? And then tell me how you were feeling while you were watching it and after you watched it.
Well, if I should say this on air, but my thought was, damn it, Sean! Damn it, Sean! Damn it! That was it. Like, you did that so strategically. You're like, I'm just gonna drill right into her heart. That's what I'm gonna do. She has no way of saying no, and you were absolutely right. Like, I watched that video, and this surge of emotion, just like I was there that evening, just filled me up. And I'm like, how can you say no? Like, we know now for sure. If you say yes, Lisa, this is going to be it. Like this, we know for sure you are done. You have to take advantage of this opportunity. You would be silly to not go forward with doing this. So you win.
Well, thank you. And I am a little emotional as I recall that moment, because you actually said, I believe you wrote those same words to me. How can I say no to that? And I was in the bathroom getting ready for work that day, and the tears started flowing down my face. I'm like, yes. And I ran quickly, and I called Barb Vanden Langenberg, great volunteer for the Red Cross and Dancing with Our Stars. And I said, Lisa's in. And she was all excited. So then, of course, I had to edit the video and drop you in there, but that was not a problem. I was fully ready to do it. And yeah, so you signed on, and I've got a photo from the kickoff party, and wow, what a group there. 20 people participating, 18 of you alum, and two newbies, pinch dancers, as I call them. So what do you remember from the kickoff party and just, beginning that final journey with Dancing with Our Stars?
Well, I think once I saw all the individuals again and knew the lineup of people who were going to be participating, I knew this was going to be much more than, okay, Lisa's going to go and get a chance to dance again. It was really the opportunity to rekindle these friendships. It is just an outstanding group of individuals, and so blessed to be able to participate in the event with them. So they really, I think, were the ones that were the turning point for me. Once I knew who was going to be participating, I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be a blast, because no matter what I do, I've got to have fun doing it. It's got to be a joy. So these folks really made that happen. Yeah, what a great group of people.
What do you remember about putting together the performance for the finale? When did you start thinking about dance and style and all that jazz?
So I basically went to work right away, and I knew that I wanted to choose the songs this time around. And I remember going on Spotify and listening to music, hours and hours and hours of listening to music, because it has to resonate with me. I've got to feel it in my bones. I've got to be like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's got to hit the chord. So I'd be constantly playing music in my house, but I'm like, what about this song? You know, he's like, and I'm like, you know, so we'd go back and forth and back and forth. But my goal and objective for picking out a song was knowing that this is going to be the final year for the event. I wanted to do something. I didn't want to pull on the heartstrings again, right? Because I had already done that. I really wanted to get out there and get the crowd going. I wanted to get them on their feet. I wanted them to leave that event going, that was a blast, right? So I really wanted a crowd engagement type of song. So yeah, so I ended up finally finding it. I found it was more of a it was Footloose, but it was more of a like what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't the traditional Footloose. It was more like not show choiry, but it was more Broadway kind of style to it. And I listened to the song and I was like, oh yeah, that's going to be a blast. So I cut the music, gave it to Michael, and then the choreographer came in and gave us their choreography. And I don't know that you can say it was one style of ballroom. It was like a casserole of, you name it, man. You know, he took something from this cupboard, put it in there, then he was in the stove and he put that in there, and it was just like, why don't we throw some turns in there? And oh my God, flips. There was flips. I almost lost my cookies when we first started rehearsing this thing because your body's just not used to spinning, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting too old for this. I would go home sick from rehearsals, like for days. My head was just like, I was nauseous, and I'm like, okay, that's just part of my body readjusting to it, and that's exactly what it was. But man, that was a loaded dance. That was loaded.
It was a lot of fun, and we'll see some pictures from that coming up in just a bit. But a month or two before the finale, I think it was about a month, was prom, and you had the opportunity, along with several of your fellow All-Stars, to be part of the prom court and raise money for that Dan's event. So what do you remember from being a part of prom and then ultimately becoming prom queen?
Oh, this picture sums it up. Daniel's son. That guy, I'm telling you, he's one of the reasons that I decided to do it again this year. He is so much fun, and the way that he just lightened up the room, and his streak of doing these proms for the last, what was it, 5 years he's been running them? Yeah, the two of us took the title of king and queen, and oh my God, what a blast! So that's what I just remember. I just remember it being fun. You know, we had the limo for the evening, and we started out the night in the limo, and yeah, Dan just did a phenomenal job with the event. It was like a Roaring Twenties theme.
Yeah.
You know, so we got to go out, get dressed up, and there's my hubby and me, and yeah, we just had a blast. You know, it's one of those things in your life where, you know, if you're not involved in something like this, you're certainly missing out on some of these fabulous opportunities that life can bring you. So yeah, we made the most of it.
And I enjoyed, this is another reason I was glad you participated. And I know I told you this story personally, but I haven't told it publicly much. So over the years, I produced the event 6 years, and the majority of the participants are women, just because it's tough to get guys. I would say, I don't have the math, but it's probably 2 to 1 women star dancers to male star dancers. So I'm hanging out with a lot of the husbands at these fundraising events. And each year I usually had one guy that I really connected with. And Mike was that guy in 2015. Of course, you guys, we didn't mention that when we talked about 2015, but you made a point to come to every person's fundraiser, which I think was just an awesome commitment on your part. And tell us why you made that decision.
Well, and it was not my decision. I would say it was our decision. So it was the two of us, the two Pritzl heads, going in and supporting, because we knew that when we committed to taking on both of these years, 2015 and 2018, we sat down together and we said, okay, this is, if I'm going to proceed, here's the commitment, and how are we going to proceed together through this, right? Because it really wanted to be a joint effort between the two of us. So I think we just felt that giving support to all the other participants in the fundraising event really demonstrated that it wasn't just me going out there and trying to raise money. It really needed to be a collective effort, and to have everybody else know that I had their back was really important to us, because that's what it was about. It was about this family of dancers that you get to grow and know and love, and to be there for them through this and to support their fundraisers was as much fun than coming to my own, if not more, because there's less responsibility. I get to show up and drink and have fun, So we had, so that was really our decision, and we did that for both years that I participated in. My husband and I made as many, if not all, that we could together.
He'd always say at the end of an event, all right, what do we got next? Okay, I'll see you then. A lot of times it was, all right, I'll see you next week. See you see you this week. See you later this week.
Yeah, what do we need to wear next time? What's the theme? What's the event?
What kind of event? Where are we going? All right, great. Yeah. Can't wait. So when you danced in 2015, you had the honor of being judged by Peter Murgatroyd, and you got the chance to see them again, or see her again, excuse me, and then meet Max the night before Dancing with Our Stars 2018. So what do you remember about this moment from 335?
Let's see, that moment. What I remember was that we basically, I don't know if this is the right word, we were like cattle call. We were like, in this little room, and we had so many people that gathered at a time, and we had to wait our turn, and then when the next group cleared out, we could go up these like secret stairs, and then we turned the corner, and then Max and Peter were there, and we had to go in, slide in, take our pictures, and then slide back out, and then the next crew came through. But both of them, wonderful individuals. It's really kind of fun to see the personalities of people that you often see on TV. And now I'm actually following them on Instagram through all this pandemic stuff. They're doing workouts together, and so it's fun to just kind of watch them in their element. And that was a really special night. Yeah, that was the same night too that I had brought my boots. I had these nice segue. So these little white cowboy boots was going to be part of my outfit for my routine that year. So I brought them along with the hopes that they would sign them, and well, there's the evidence. And then I wore them for that evening, and Max recalled, oh yeah, those are the boots that we signed. That's me. She did so good because we signed her boots, So yeah, that was good. That was a fun night. Yep. So I still have those. Those aren't going in an rummage sale. Let me just say that. Those are going to be a keeper. Yep.
Absolutely. So, all right, we're at event day, the final Dancing with Our Stars, February of 2018. So how are you feeling going into that day?
Oh, I think the same emotions that I experienced the first time around. Obviously this time around I knew a little bit more how the evening was going to go, what to expect. But we still had an outpouring of support of family and friends and coworkers who were all there for the evening, and we only had one number, which is kind of a nice balance. The first year we had two numbers. This one we only had one, partly because there were so many participants that year. But then you only had to focus on one, right? Which was kind of nice. You put your head around it. You go out there. You perform it. Done. Now I get to sit back and relax and watch everybody else sweat it out. Wait till they're done, and you really got to enjoy a little bit more of the evening. That way, only having the one number and really being able to take it in. So that's the choreography.
This was your entrance. Tell me how this idea came about.
Yeah, so the choreographer for the event decided he wanted to integrate a bench for my routine. So when we were discussing how this is all going to play out, like how is Lisa going to start on the bench and blah, 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 blah. And I can't honestly say whose idea it was, but it was someone's idea that said, why don't we just put her on top of the bench? I'm sure it'll be safe. And then we'll just carry her out on the bench. So my husband and it was Bill. No, who was that? Who's the other gentleman? I forget the gentleman's name. So the two, yeah, two of them. Yeah, that was that was, oh good God, that was how they carried me out to start the dance. Yeah, nothing like a grand entrance. Jeez, that was how it started.
And then, yeah, you talked about it being a high energy number. In my opinion, it certainly was.
Yeah, it was. I think you give it everything that you've got on stage, and by the time that routine was done, there's this phrase. I think everyone's heard it. You got to fake it to make it. I had to fake it to make it. Otherwise, it was going to be like I was going to be like on the floor. Forget it. That was going to be the end of me. So, but I think there's so much adrenaline pumping, through your bones, especially when you can get through the routine. And we hit all the tricks, we hit all the flips, we hit the lift at the end. I mean, we nailed everything. Ah, there it is. That was the lift at the end. So it was quite the adrenaline rush, and that was us taking our bows, and that's where I had no oxygen left in my lungs, and you pull through. It was phenomenal. It was a great evening.
Well, your night of dancing was not done yet because there was a surprise to be had, and that being Jody Weyers and the last dance and the group dance. When do you first recall hearing about that idea? And was it not? Didn't you have the idea maybe to do something special?
Yeah, I did. So I knew that there was this conversation going around about we should all get together, right, to do a final dance for the evening. It's really going to close out the event, and I thought, gosh, we should do like some kind of flash mob. What do you guys think? Wink, wink, right? So we started to work through some of the details and logistics of how that was going to work, and everything came together at the end. Obviously, you were completely left out of all of those conversations very intentionally, because we knew that we wanted this night to be as much of a surprise for you as it has been for all of us over the 10 years. I mean, you've put so much of you into these events, and this was the only way we could think of to humbly pay you some great respect, and give you the credit that you deserve. And I couldn't be more happy with how that all came together. So everybody was out on the stage. I came hunted you down in the crowd. Yep, grabbed your hand, and you kind of had this look of, Pritz, what is going on? Because you are in control, right, of everything, and you were not in control of the situation. And I was like, oh, we got him. So I pulled you by the hand, I dragged you on stage, and I think towards the end, they put you up on their shoulder, and you just went with it. I mean, you had no idea what was coming your way. And so our plan worked fabulously.
How did they? How was it chosen that you were the one to come and grab me?
I think because maybe I had come up with the idea initially to do the flash mob, so I got to do the honors of of ripping you out of the crowd. And that's what it was, ripped you out of the crowd. It was great.
I loved how you described you were spot on when you just said it moments ago that yes, I am used to being in full control of everything with the event, and this was one of the rare moments that I was not. So yeah, I did give you that look of like, okay, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. Everyone's doing a choreography, everyone's doing a routine, and now I'm out here. Am I just supposed to bop around, or somebody help me quickly? But yeah, Rock and Zeb, Mimi Jackson, threw me up on the shoulders, and it was a neat moment for me. Kind of like the winning head coach of a Super Bowl, putting my
Yeah,
hands in the air, and that was fun.
it was
That was
sweet.
fun. But I will always remember you. I'm just watching this thing, and then I see you coming off the dance floor, and I'm like, oh, I hope she's coming for Cammy or Tammy. I hope she's not coming for me. Oh no, she's coming for me.
Yep. Oh, yeah, it was a great way to close out that evening.
And then once again, an award winner. So People's Choice Champion again. So how are you feeling when you're recognized once again?
Oh, humbled. I mean, truly humbled. There was so much fantastic um, competition, if you want to say, for the evening, from the fundraising to the dances that people have put together. There was so much creativity that year as far as the dances that came out. And I'm like, how do you even measure up? How do you begin to measure up against everyone? So it was truly, truly a humbling experience to be able to be awarded that evening. So, you know, it really doesn't mean that everybody else was unnoticed. It's just that everybody else, I think we all just pulled together. I mean, it was truly a group effort. I think, you know, when one person wins, we're all winning. So, and it truly was, at the end of the day, not about the awards. It wasn't about the recognition. It was about all the dollars that we were able to collectively pull together over 10 years worth of time, and make a huge, huge impact on the community. So that's really what all boiled down for me at that moment.
You talked about the relationships, and I know this group of people is very special to you, some of the volunteers. Just talk about how great it was for you to get to know these ladies.
Oh my goodness. These women, well, and then that gentleman standing next to me, that my husband, but these women are truly the backbone. They are the magic stars behind each and every event. They are there tirelessly handing out tickets, doing ticket sales, raffles, making sure all the loose ends are tied up. I mean, they are the machine behind all of these campaigns, and their dedication and their joy and their optimism and their zest and their love for the Red Cross was truly, truly remarkable. So these are certainly ladies that I can call friends, and will be for the rest of my life.
So you leave this event thinking, okay, that's it. My dancing days are done, but that would not be the case. So update us on what life has been like for you after Dancing with Our Stars.
Yeah, so let's see. That was February of 2018 is when we had that event, and I remember New Year's of 2018, and standing up in front of my company for one of our daily meetings, and we were talking about New Year's resolutions, and I just simply said, I'm going to figure out this dance thing. I said, I don't know what it's going to be, but I know that I've got to figure out a way to keep it alive, right? Well, Sean, I have been saying that since 2015 event, right? And the years go by and the years tick by, and 2018 came, and I publicly announced my goal for the year, and I had no idea how I was going to make it work, because, right, I'm in my mid 40s. I can't have a career being a dancer. I taught in dance studios in my early 20s, but I knew that is not something that I wanted to go back to. My heart wasn't there, and so I really for years thought it was going to be just a dead end. So 2018 came, I announced my New Year's resolution, and the months ticked by, right? And it was September of 2018, and I'll never forget this day. So, you know, I think when you pray about something so hard for so long, the Lord really puts events in your place that you are never ready for. So I went into this meeting. It was a quarterly executive meeting. We're talking about goals for the next 90 days and what that was going to look like. And I started out the meeting, and I had no plan for saying what I did in that meeting. And I still don't know how I got it out of my mouth, but I said, guys, I said, the last, my time at Profit has been wonderful, and I've been with the organization. It was almost going on 11 years. And I said, but I just don't feel here the way that I do when I'm on the dance floor. I said, there's such a passion and joy in my heart that I feel when I'm dancing, that I can share that with other people. And I miss that when I'm working here. Not that it isn't a great job. It's not that you're not good people. You are, and you've given me such a wonderful foundation for the last 7 years, but I just don't feel myself here. Whew, it was like a massive, massive explosion of emotion. And my role at the company was the rock You know, I worked at Profit, and it was the Rock. It was a leadership for many, many years. So I was always a driving force, right? You're calm, you're cool, you collect. And I was an absolute mess that afternoon. And after those words came out of my mouth, and I could literally feel my heart coming up into my chest and out of my mouth, I knew that was going to be it. I knew that was going to be my end of my time at Profit. But I was so scared because I still didn't know what I was going to do. So when you talk about the Lord pulling and twisting you, he's been telling me for so long what I needed to do, and sometimes you just don't listen, right? Because you have your own plan, and your days tick by, and I was busy working 60, 70 hours a week, and right, this is my plan. And boy, did he shake things up that day. So I walked home, and my husband's like, "What are you doing home?" And I'm like, I think I'm done at Profit. And he's like, "What?" It was, so we sat and we talked about it, and Joe and Danica Kittinger, the owners of Profit, I'm very blessed to have them in my life. They said, "Lisa, take a week. We're gonna give you a week. We're gonna pay you. We're gonna fly you out. I want you to meet with a personal life coach, unpack what's going on in your life, try to figure this thing out, and come back. And after a week, you just promise us that we'll get together so we can talk about what your next steps are going to be." I'm like, okay. So I prayed, and I did a lot of soul searching, and I did a lot of journaling and writing and thought collection. And I remember the day when I was coming back from meeting with the personal life coach, and there was two conversations that pulled it all together for me. One, the gentleman that I had met with that day, his name is Mark Fryer, and he helped me unpack just a lot of stuff. And it was not my style to talk about stuff, right? I push stuff down. I don't talk about stuff. So we had a great day together. And when I was leaving, he looks me in the eye and he says, "Lisa, you know what? If you can figure out how to teach me to dance, consider me your first student." And I thought, what? Right? Because he has bad arthritis in both knees and really can't move much, but loves dancing, loves the show Dancing with the Stars. And I thought, okay. So I got on the plane, and that was it. It was just it was the moment when God said to me, "Lisa, use your passion not to fulfill your own desire to be on stage. Use your passion to go out and serve people who would otherwise never have the ability to dance." And I thought, holy crap, that's it. I remember going home that day and standing in the kitchen by myself, and I threw my hands in the air and I said, "Thank you. Thank you for giving this to me. Thank you for diving me to rock bottom so that I could come out and really use my passion to change people's lives." So I started the company Empowerment Dance to empower people through movement. And I started that literally the next week. I had everything in place that I knew where it needed to go. I put my mission statement together. I got all the fundamentals, right? The website, the business cards, the logo, the branding, the LLC, right? I got all the foundational stuff because I knew I wanted to be prepared to take this business wherever it needed to go. And it was the first time in my life when I didn't have besides that, I didn't have a plan after that. This is new. This is brand new to the community. I don't even know if anybody's out there that's going to want this, but my heart was telling me that, yeah, that's going to be something that you need to do. So, started the business a week later and literally just started thinking about my connections, picking up the phone, doing cold calls to people I didn't know, going, "This is what I'm doing. What do you think? Can I just come in and we can have a conversation about this?" And now I have partnerships with CP. I'll tell you a little bit about an organization that I partner with called Dancing for Parkinson's Disease, Dancing for PD. I'm in a wide variety of assisted living facilities throughout Green Bay. I have partnerships with Sybil Hop School. So I literally have taken the idea of bring dance to people who wouldn't otherwise. So I primarily am serving elderly, and this is one of my classes at McCormick Assisted Living. And I teach dance there, amongst others, like I had mentioned. And so the elderly is one area, and then the other is people with disabilities. So another piece of the business that I've really focused a lot of attention on is getting my training in a program called Dance for PD, Dance for Parkinson's Disease. So that program is based out of New York. So I traveled to get training in Canada. I traveled to New York. This one here was an event for individuals with all types of disabilities. So I put on a little hip hop dance party for them that evening, and it was always one element of a much larger evening. And you can just see, I mean, people have no reservations when it comes to putting their hands up in the air, having a good time, sharing that joy with other people. So it has truly been a blessing, and I feel so fulfilled in being able to bring joy to people's lives. And while my training in the fundamentals of dance and the benefits of dance, I could go on and on and on forever. What people experience when they dance with me and when they dance with one another is simply joy. I mean, look at their faces. I mean, they're moving in ways they typically don't. They're getting on their feet. They're reigniting their zest for polka or swing. I mean, I'm getting that gentleman that you see there, I'm getting him to do ballet moves like tendus and dégagés and port-de-bras. And it's just, it is just mind-blowing how welcoming it has been for all these various organizations to go, yes, absolutely, come in, and let's get that partnership going. Let's get you in to make a difference in these people, in the lives of these people. In fact, this particular class is all people with various stages of Alzheimer's and dementia. It is truly a blessing to be able to bring joy and maybe even revigorate some memories that they've had growing up with their spouse and how they met. They tell me stories about how they met on the dance floor, and I could just literally go on and on and on about these stories, and the joy that it brings is just overwhelming to me, that I'm so blessed to be able to do this every day. And now we are doing Parkinson's classes online. So here are a few of my students. Obviously, when we think about quarantining, we look at this as opportunities. So there's no way that I was going to not stop teaching. So this is some of the members of my class. We meet every single week. And I'm really excited to announce that starting the month of May, I have gotten some partnership opportunities with the Wisconsin Parkinson's Association. So we are going to be opening up our classes for free to everyone and anyone living with Parkinson's disease through the month of May. So you'll be able to see more information on my social media pages, and hopefully we can get that word out to as many people as possible, because for those of you who don't know a lot about Parkinson's disease, it's a movement disorder, and the best medicine that we can give to individuals with Parkinson's is to keep them moving. Keep them moving. We have to fight the disease, which basically just robs us of being able to move and function. So our brains are healthy. It's just the motor function that deteriorates gradually and slowly with Parkinson's disease. So these folks are a ray of sunshine, and these are the faces that keep me going every single day. So I'm excited about next month to see if we can really blow this thing up and get out there and reach these individuals and keep them moving and keep them smiling.
You mentioned your social media. So if someone wants to get in touch with you about Empowerment Dance, where do they need to go?
Go to empowermentdance.com. So we have a website out there that lists all our available classes that we're currently holding online. And there's also a link to our social media pages. We're on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. The other thing that we're doing right now is we created a YouTube channel, and once a week we put a dance activity out there, and then I share those videos with obviously that they're open for anyone to access, but then I email them out to all my assisted living facilities. And then they have the ability to share those with their residents, because who knows, we're not able to get back in those doors again. So, so I'm finding different creative ways just to keep out in front of them, keep them moving, keep them engaged, and so we'll see. We're hoping that by the end of this next month we can call it done. But I'm hoping for the best, but planning for this to be a little bit of a longer haul than I hope is going to be. So,
well, you're doing amazing work. What a story. You were able to reconnect to dance through Dancing with Our Stars, and then now it's opened up an entirely new chapter in your life. I love hearing the story. Every time you tell it, you're so passionate about it, and it's awesome. And those people are blessed to have you. I know that they are they're the blessing for you, but certainly they are blessed to have you helping them and be that shining star in their lives.
oh, thank you, Sean. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the DWS Diaries and sharing your story, both from Dancing with Our Stars as well as the awesome work that you're doing and continue to do post DWS.
Well, thank you for having me, and it's always so fun to be able to share this story. So thanks for doing what you're doing. Appreciate it, Sean.
Thank you, Lisa.
Take care.